Rawr.
Busy setting up a supply warehouse down in the tunnels.
Hey everybody, so the Division 1.4 patch is out, and while this isn't cutting edge news, I did want to discuss some of the changes that have occurred to the game since the videos we posted about the Underground DLC, as well as kind of my thoughts on the patch and why I'm returning to the Division in a much greater way than I anticipated. We'll start with a quick rundown of some of the actual changes that were made. First of all is world tiering, so no longer is the world automatically scaling to your level and kind of maxing out at a certain point. When you hit level 30 now, you'll be able to go into the menu and change your level tier, your world tier level for the overworld as well as the underground. What this does is change the difficulty of the enemies to scale better towards you, as well as dictate the level of loot drops that they'll be making. So for instance, in tier 1, you'll be seeing gear items at like 163, whereas tier 4, you'll be seeing items closer to 229. What this really means is that if you're playing solo, or playing with a friend who maybe new to the game, even if they've hit level 30 and you've been playing for some time, you can kind of tailor the world to their skills or to how you feel you want to play for the day, and also tailor the loot you're getting from it as a result. The other thing we can see is the AI has been significantly improved. So you're seeing a lot more flanking from AI now, you're seeing a lot more use of cover and grenades. No longer do they kind of just funnel down the closest path on their way to you, letting you line up awesome sniper shots constantly. You will now have to use a bit more tactics and ideally have multiple people hitting them from multiple angles. In the Dark Zone, we see some big changes that are going to be kind of critical things there. So we have a change to the rogue skull on the map. We didn't record any of the Dark Zone stuff, but one of the things we found playing it was that you really never had a good idea of just how far away the rogues were. We had, Eric and I both thought that maybe there had been some kind of relationship between the size of the skull and where they actually were in comparison to the map. And you'd think that, and then all of a sudden hit the main map and realize the rogue was in the complete other side of the Dark Zone and there was no realistic chance of you getting to them. Now the skull for the rogue on the marker on the map will change in size based on how far away they are from you, which is good because they've also increased the reasons that you'd want to go rogue in the Dark Zone, or reasons you'd want to fight rogues. One of the other big things we saw were some changes to the gear sets and the introduction of more PvP specific gear sets when it comes to the green tier armor. Specifically, it's the Banshee set. So it's weighted to allow two different options. If you're going in as a rogue, it gives you better chances at not losing loot and XP if you die, as well as giving you opportunities to restock ammo every so many seconds and have kind of a better time doing that. On the flip side, if you're not a rogue, it does give you some good perks towards hunting rogues down with similar kind of power-ups. But either way, it takes away the penalties of the loss of XP and the loss of money for actually going in the Dark Zone and risking dying, which really changes the game and makes things a lot more fluid and a lot better for going into that area. We also have seen enough a change here with XP when you level up. So kind of like Destiny with the idea of motes of light. After you've hit level 30, you still accrue points or accrue experience while you're playing the game, either be doing daily missions or just going after roaming groups. Each time you get enough points to level up, instead of having a mote of light or a manufacturing material come to you, you get a care package, which generally speaking consists of two level 229 or what have you items based on your world tier that are usually kind of exotics or better, usually exotics. So the nice thing about this is it gives you that continuous kind of push to keep playing the game and that reward for doing stuff like, roaming around the overworld to collect cell phones. As you hit those roaming bands more and more, you can still get that XP and you get those rewards, even though you may not get them from picking up 15 cell phones in and of itself. You do get the rewards from having played the game and getting those kills and those XP. The skill sets have also seen a pretty large revamp in terms of stuff like pulse and the sentry guns and so on. Enough to the point where it actually makes the different setups more viable. So you don't see it as much anymore where you have people just using on a one setup and going from there. Game encourages you to change your setups based on the gear you're picking up, and also to try different strategies for different, be it the raids or incursions or just the actual kind of normal gameplay itself. The weapons have also had a pretty massive damage stat revamp happen. So some stuff have been nerfed, like the M1As have been brought kind of more in line to be less of the ultimate weapon in the game. And stuff like the light machine guns, which kind of seemed pointless for a lot of the game there, have now been brought up, so their damage is increased and they perform better and give you a better idea, or not a better idea rather, but a better reason to use them. There's also, as I mentioned, some changes being made to gear sets. Some of the gear sets have been eliminated entirely. Some new ones have been added. Other ones have been modified, and the way they impact your stats and impact your perks have also changed. So it's that said, I mean, there's so much change in that. It's not something you can really go over in a meaningful way. If you want to check out the patch notes, they do have all the detail there. I found it more fun just to pick stuff up and try out new sets and figure it out from there. Overall, though, the 1.4 patch and the changes it made to loot and to the balancing of the game has been tremendous. Really, this is kind of the equivalent of the revamp of Diablo 3 when they removed the auction house and made the loot drops kind of viable again. The 1.4 patch is kind of on that level of update and level of making the game a better game to play. The grinding aspect of the game is now much more rewarding based on the new drops. It encourages you to kind of shift your loadout and playstyle. It pulled me back into the Division in a way I didn't expect it to. Really, Eric was the pushing force behind saying, hey, 1.4 is out, the game's rebalanced, let me give it a try again. Because we haven't really played much since those videos of the Underground came out, because we realized it was so grindy and repetitive, and you didn't really get that much good, different gear. That said, I mean, in the past few days since the patch has dropped, we've played a tremendous amount of the Division, and we'll probably will continue to do so, at least until Wildlands comes out, or until something else kind of grabs our interest, maybe Battlefield 1, who knows. But yeah, it's really exceptional. If you do have the Division or bought that season's pass and weren't really satisfied with the Underground, I definitely go back and take a look at it and give it another try. The game is significantly better than it once was, and definitely has dethroned Destiny in terms of my online shooter RPG kind of game. But yeah, so there's been a quick look at the 1.4 patch. I will put a link to the patch notes in the description below. And thank you very much for joining me, and have a good night.